Every Tuesday, you can get yourself a copy of our newspaper, iDiskiTV, for absolutely free. Every shop right in the Gauteng province, you just go there, get yourself the paper. And on Fridays, the paper will be available across the nation on our website, iDiskiTimes.co.za. iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting, iDiskiTimes.co.za. It looks certain that Mamelodi Sundowns will get Thapelo Maseko. All roads leads to him leaving SuperSport United to go to Mamelodi Sundowns. I suppose when we saw Tebogo Mokoena, when we saw Ronwen Williams, when we saw Sipho Mbule, when we saw Aubrey Modiba from SuperSport to Mamelodi Sundowns, you could have easily made that prediction that one day Thapelo Maseko will be a Sundowns player. Tso Vilakazi, last week we were talking about, or you were saying, making the argument that there's just too many players there. And if they're not careful about signing too many players in the same position, there's going to be a problem there. Of course, Sundowns fans are not happy with that. They don't agree, but experience, you don't buy it from spaza shops. You know what you were talking about. What do you make of this signing? Is it a good idea for Thapelo Maseko to leave SuperSport United to go to Mamelodi Sundowns?
Mr. Ke kunjani mfethu? Ngibulisa wena, ngibulisa Justice, ngibulisa Junior. Nginibulisa nani emakhaya, ngicela support njalo la iDiskiTV. Ngizobeka nje njalo ngijike futhi. Mr. Ke, there's one thing that I like about life is that we all experience things in different ways. I experienced things in that professional football, and others they've experienced things in commercial, construction. You know, you can name them, Mr. K. You know, that's one thing that I love about this life is that everyone gain experience in whatever that he or she does. So I've got my own experience. Not that it just happen and pass by in front of my eyes. No. I was one of those players that has to experience that and get the feeling, understand and deal with it. Mr. Keu, ngishilo last week ngathi mina, you know, having top players in I would say 3 top players in one position, one way or another. We can call any coach now. Now we can call. He will tell you. There's no way you can have top 3 players in one position and the 3 of them, they're happy. I don't care who says what. You can go anywhere. They can be angry. They can go up and come down, but they will get my feeling and they will understand it. There's no way. I've played the game, guys. I know what I'm talking about. That the coach decide. So, as much as we are so good, but I'm not going to play you behind the strikers. I'm going to play you as a wing. I'll play you so and so in that attacking position. So, I need to be compromised and be played out of position because of the coach believes that this is what is going to work for him, not for the player. Remember, people, I want people to understand, Mr. Ugut, at the end of the day, it's not about the player himself. It's about what the coach can get out of that player for him to get the results and be safe in that job. So, I think so that bang is Mr. Keu, abantu bakithi angithi kubuye kube nenkinga. Ucoach uzofaka iplayer kule position le noma leya ngoba afuna ukuthi team iwine abe safe kumsebenzi wakhe. Let's remember ukuthi these coaches, they're not just puppet. At the end of the day, they've got families. And maka coach alapana and put players in certain positions, he need to think also good esan. Ngizotholani mangifaka lo la? Am I gonna win? No, I'm not gonna win. Barcelona mangamfaki la esan. Yes, mhlawumbe ngeke ngithole igoli kuye. But because uthandwa mhlambe i-team, let me play him that side. Ngifake lo ozongitholela igoli la.
Maybe a direct question, so a straightforward question. just in response to Thapelo Maseko, who seems to be going to Sundowns. He's 20 years old. We've only seen him for maybe first full season, really, to be honest. He's a star. You know, when you look at a player, you're like, oh, okay, cool. This one is a star. Is it time? Was he ready? Abomukwana bahleli ku SuperSport United, building themselves as professional human beings. Ronon Williams waqabela ku 30 before he went to Sundowns, because you have to be built, be molded into a human being first before you can go to a difficult environment. Is it the right time? I know it's the right team, in a sense whereby you go to a big team because you're a star player. I know that that's the right team. I would say the same thing if maybe he went to Pirates, that he's going to a big team. He deserves that as a good player. Is this the right time for him to go there? And also, can he be able to deal with what you're saying? This thing of, you have Laila K at left wing back, you have Aubrey Mudiba at left wing back, you have Divine Lunga at left wing back. Siandam Sani joined, I think, Stellenbosch, if I'm not mistaken. He went somewhere. So they had to loan a lot of those players because they had like 4 options at left wing back. If you want to play him as a left wing forward, there's also other people there. Abubakar Nasir, Keshas Mailula, if you want to play him at left wing forward. There's so many different options in all of these positions. So it speaks to what you were saying. But is this the right time? If you were advising him, were you gonna say stay one more season? How would you have approached this?
No, I was gonna give him a very good advice, Mr. Q. Stay at SuperSport. Make a name for yourself. Remember that, Mr. Q, there's one thing that these boys, I would say most of them, they normally jump. It's the stage of development. Remember, we wanna see him representing us under 20, under 23. National team.
I've already seen him.
Yes, he went there, I think, once, twice.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we must take us to the Olympics. Take us there. And then we can talk about you and say, okay, Mayema, be careful. He's here. He's here. But now, with the pressure that is going to come to Sundowns this season, I was not going to allow him to go. If I was his advisor or a manager, I was going to say to him, no, boy, stay for another season. Let everything comes down and then build up for the next season. Right. Then I will allow you to go.
All right. Good move or bad move, very quickly?
Bad move. Bad move, Mr. Gill, because Sundowns, if you can see now in attacking a formation, they've got experienced guys, overseas players, quality players. And when you look at yourself with the age, no experience, for me, that's a bad move.
All right, Thapelo Maseko to Mamelodi Sundowns. Yakhala squad depth and too many players. What do you make of that move?
Nkulu ngamaprara kunjani? Ngibulise ngwenye to justice. Ngibulise nawe Tsomfithi. No, bafethu kunjani, keep on supporting iDiskiTV, fighting no one, try to fix South African football. Mina ngikhale kakhulu mfethu because Sundowns is at the standard. So everybody want to beat Sundowns. True. I debate everybody want to beat them because of they've set the standard. Every year they play Champions League. They need not Champions League only. They play Nedbank. They play MTN 8, iDiskiTV Premiership, in a marathon. iDiskiTV Premiership, not only 7 games or 10 games, a lot of games. You need to play 30 games. So a season it's long for Sundowns which you maintain. So you need to create a competition with squad this winner. Who said Mawina you don't sign players? Though you don't sign many players, you sign players. No Mawina, not just ordinary players. You bring quality players. When you look at the age of Mfana and another way Adalanga corner, I think is so skillful, very dynamic, technical is very good, especially left-footed. You hardly get such players. Ishe Zongo is much talented, but Mfana is talented as well. I can't compare, but you have 4 good talented players in South African football. So good signing for Sundowns for me.
Look at the roster, look at the squad. How does it play? Where does it play? How do you figure that out for him, Mfana? Spending maybe 20 million rands. You have to find a way to fit him into that picture. Do you play him wide forward or you play him left wing back?
Yeah, simple. Mshishi uyakhula obvious, but Mshishi quality mfethu for especially uyayisuitha ne-style of play se-Sundowns quality as well. Mfana umdlaliso number 10 Ngobeni kulo Ngobeni the left wing forward. Banokumdlalisa lapho rabe wing back but banokumdlalisa lapha send him.
Yeah, so let's look at that left picture and be realistic. So you have Thapelo Maseko, you have Lila K, he's coming back, and you have Aubrey Modiba at the moment. So left wing back, it's packed. There's Divine Lunga, Sianda Msani. Those ones are out of the picture, but the ones that are in the picture, Aubrey Modiba, Thapelo Maseko, and you just spent so much money with Thapelo Maseko as well. Ngobeni, you're saying now he must be sent on loan. You also bought him as well. So who is going to be the number 1, 2, 3, 4 left back? Given that Modiba, it took you to the semi-final of the ICAF Champions League as well.
This boy can play left forward, not at the back. Can't be left back, left forward.
So yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. So we left wing back, you're not looking at him. Now let's look at the left forward. There's Sereno. I've seen Abubakar Nasser play there. I've seen Cassius Malula play there, although we can also play centrally. I'm sure there's other players. I don't know the Mendieta, he plays left or right. Also now a wing forward as well. I don't know the new Brazilian where he plays, whether he plays left or right. So all of these positions, there's like so many quality players. So who becomes number 1, number 2, number 3 in those positions?
Yeah, the boy definitely shows Serena right-footed. He's playing on the left. Opupaka udlala on right, sometimes he play on the left. So the boy specific udlala on left. So he can bring early balls, skillful. When he's on the left, he can shoot more left, direct palin. He can take players on, very skillful. All I love with his style of play, set up, sizomsuta, cause ngambona ku SuperSport, bamlimita. Magafika lapha ne bekakwazi ukutalanda ama player. Yes, bebanokumnika that allowance, but most bekacross the first time. Especially manje isikhathi masiya, but because of season mayiqala besibonile ukuthi what you can do. So lama player wabalile wonke yes, quality mfethu, but right footed. Sereno right footed, Abubakar Nasser right footed. Banokumdlalisa ushalile even ka left naye lapho, but manje they've got a left footed skillful quality player. Age yakhe is young, so umfana bekumela khule futhi. I think it's the right time for me. I go cooler lapha compete, especially for Champions League, because we know Sundowns gonna play Champions League. League, for me, I think still basazo dominate South African football, because ngendlela badlala ngayo, mawina ugly mfethu, you cannot say you're gonna be dominant. But when you win smart, especially fana nomudli ngcono udli udlala kahle, because ukwazi ukubona amaphutha wakho. But mangabe uyawina ugly, you can't see ukuthi imele improve kuphi. So for me, I think it's the right time ukuthi umfana aye lapha akayocompete cool as a player. Ivelu na ikwazi ukuthi cool umfana. And
maybe the direct question is, does it become a starting 11 player? Maybe that's the obvious question I should ask. Does it become, you spend 20 million? I think it's valid that people are talking about this. You spend with Mendieta, you spend with the South American player, you already had Allende, Mayema, all of these players that you spent maybe 100 million in the last 12 months. Does this player, for his value, does it become a starting 11 player? And what do you do with him if he doesn't play in the first 3 months and he gets frustrated?
The boy is young, mele bamtshele, we are good quality side. The team that dominated South African football for many years, not twice, ngikhuluma regularly, consistency, won the star, Guyo Low League dominance, I think 3-4 years back. 2016 for 3-4 years 5 years back. You need to understand ukuthi makafika, it's not obvious ukuthi uzodlala. With that I can't confirm ukuthi uzodlala, but quality it can improve. Ngalo 3 months it can only improve. So if uzodlala kufike lapho andile njalo ku Sundowns, kuyi star player from Pirates left to Europe, he came at Sundowns to sit on the bench season yonke. The following season kulanga I think uyaqala ukuthi, because mele understand it, mele he can be a star, but indlela eklapha idlala ngayo mele umfana understand the team ukuthi idlala kanjani, and then afike makabona, and then mabalibele bamlahlela. But umfana genius ngimbonile lazi Polystar, yeah, talented phela. Khona enye into unokufika eteamini kunomuntu kumele kuzabe developed abanye bamstart under 15, mele 15, under 17, under 19, MTC and kunomuntu ofika lapha under 19 under 17 and a champion under 7 MTC TTC and went straight. Abanye abantu they born to baphiwe mfethu. They are born for this. So Mfana is a gifted player, talented, one of the best talents. So asazi ukuthi in terms of ukuthi ukudevelop kwakhe development, when it comes to develop good lapin develop also develop isikhathi esingakanani, especially mina love identity ye club the way idlala ngakhona. South Africa should have played the way ama team amaningi mela though angithi wonke adlale ngendlela, but in terms of passing, movement of the ball nokweya ama pass technically, I think indlela okudlala ibhola ayile. So uye club in right ukuthi aqale with that, I'm not too sure, definitely sure, I'm not too sure, but Mfana either way, bazomnika opportunity. I'm sure he's gonna take it, and he's gonna grow as a player in the next coming 2-3 years. I don't think they will loan him. Bazoba patient. Now he need to be patient with the quality side. He's not gonna compete now with ordinary players, so he need to be patient. Yeah.
Right. There you go. That's Thapelo Maseko. That's another signing. Then after we're speaking about Junior Mendieta and a lot of other players too as well. We don't know what's gonna happen with him. One thing he has on his side is age, and he's a really good player. When you first saw him, when you see a player for the first time and you're like, damn, this is a very good player. He was a good player and is still a very good player. So that's not disputed. The one thing that we don't know is whether or not he'll play at Mamelodi Sundowns. Can he play in the next 12 months, or does he need to learn how to play at Mamelodi Sundowns? The one thing that's going for Sundowns is the fact that there's the CAF Champions League, and then there's the CAF Super League. There's also another competition in South Africa called the Carling Cup, which replaces the Telkom Knockout. So there's like an additional 12, 15 more matches this season than last season. So there's an opportunity for all this galaxy of star players that are going to Sundowns. We shall see how it unfolds, of course. It is iDiskiTV, iDiskiTimes, World Sports Betting.